Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Destiny's Princess, a war story, a love story. And this is our very last episode with Nobunaga here. We're going to read his sequel and date scenarios. And unfortunately for now, this is going to be the last video I'm going to do of Destiny's Princess because I have to deal with real life matters, so I'm having to cut back on the series that I do. But hopefully some of you will, of course you can look up other videos on YouTube, but hopefully some of you will actually buy the games, as that's one of the biggest reasons I'm doing this channel in the first place, is to promote Otome games and hopefully make them more popular and make people want to buy them so that we'll get more of them in English. So anyway, without further ado, let's check into Nobunaga's extra materials here, and we'll take a look at the sequel and see if it's actually a sequel or if it's another prequel or mid-story thing. Leave everything behind. A few days after the demons disappeared.
Princess, look at this.
In one corner of the castle daily, my room had barely been saved. He entered without warning. Oh, Nobunaga, why are you so dirty? I looked at Nobunaga, who had spider webs on his head. I stood and frowned. I brushed off the spider webs and frowned at how bothersome it was.
Leave the cobwebs for later. Take a look at this.
Nobunaga was holding a round object, as big as arms that had 3 legs on it. Where in the world did you find that?
I scavenged it out of the rubble. I was excavating for things we could use.
Oh, the rubble. Then that black spot above your nose is dirt. I see. What did you think it was?
Yup.
After wiping his face with his sleeves, Nobunaga became quiet. So you excavated this round thing? What is it?
You don't know? Just like I thought. This was yours, you know. I found this near the storehouse. It's called a globe.
A globe?
This is how you spell it.
Nobunaga wrote the letters on the ground. I bent my head and looked at the handmaid taking notes in the corner of the room.
I'm going to clean this up. Bring some rags.
Yes, my lord. He used the rags she bought himself and cleaned the object. There was a large ball on a wooden frame with an axis through the middle. The gadget could spin. The ball had a strange pattern drawn on it. Was this really in the castle?
Yup. When I saw it in the storehouse, I figured no one knew what this thing was. This is a map of the world we live in.
A map? I looked at the globe and tilted my head. Isn't this thing wrong? Our nation isn't on here.
It's there, but it's so small you can't see it.
Nobunaga spun the globe and eventually pointed to a place on a long yet small island.
This nation isn't as big as my fingernail.
What? I was amazed.
In other words, this is the world shrunken down. We live on something like this that's thousands of times bigger.
But our land isn't round. If the world was round, we wouldn't be able to stand, right?
You said it. The real thing is thousands of times bigger. It's so big it's flat. If you go to the beach, you can tell. If you look far enough, you can see an arc in the distance.
But how do these inverted people live? Wouldn't they fall off? Are there countries where people walk around on their hands?
I heard people in the lower countries walk around normally, but I don't know why. I don't know, but somehow we are attracted to the middle of the world.
Oh. It was hard to believe what he said so suddenly, but I thought his words were logical.
The fact that you had this, and no one saw its value, shows this country's weakness.
My ears hurt.
I'm trying to tell you that my efforts were worth it.
Nobunaga stopped laughing and put his hand on his chin.
We have to conquer a country over the ocean.
We have to? Actually, we have to conquer our own country first. Don't get so ahead of yourself. So we can trade with foreign countries?
Yes, you're a quick one. Then it would be better if we cut the taxes at the checking stations.
Is that to make it easier for people and goods to come and go?
Exactly.
He had a fatherly look on his face and rubbed my head violently. Hey, be careful there.
In order to do that, we need to take down Kyogoku. Well then, I need to go through the rubble one more time. If I can't find something useful, that means we can't fight.
I'm pretty sure he would fight no matter what. Oh, Nobunaga, at least eat something first.
I'll do that later.
Nobunaga turned around and took big strides out of my room. I swear, you don't listen to what other people say. The handmaid quietly held herself back and started laughing as soon as Nobunaga left. You two sure seem close. Well, yeah. The vassals had little trust in him as he declared himself as my husband in all of the confusion. The majority were weighing how much they could trust Nobunaga. My handmaid was one of those people as well. She never said anything, but it looked like she was perplexed by our intimate relationship. Excuse me for saying this, but he seems like a strange fellow. However, he cherishes you more than I thought he would. Yes, of course. I smiled, and she took my hand. I'm so relieved. It would be wonderful if you two could liven up this country from here on out. Of course. He's a special man who won't stop at Japan. He's looking at the distant world. I had remembered the cheerful feelings I had at that time. In my regret, I thought about him over and over again. Mom, what is this? Kiyomaru, my precious son, put his hand on the globe on display in the castle keep. Wait, how can this be a sequel? Oh, this must be... Okay, so we skipped time and this is after Nobunaga died. That's called a globe. A globe? You spell it like this, but it might be a little too hard for you right now, Kiyomaru. On the floor, I spelled out the word globe. What does a globe do? It's a map of the world shrunken down thousands of times smaller. I talked with Kiyomaru. I told him everything Nobunaga had taught me in that short time. Lady Saya. Come in. The vassal that entered respectfully bowed down.
I have received word that a messenger from the southern lands has arrived at the castle.
I see. Thank you. Come here, Kiyomaru. I helped Kiyomaru stand up and took his hand. Let's go meet with the foreign messenger. Okay, Mom. My nation was slowly advancing our trade with the southern lands. At any rate, I planned on crossing the ocean and seeing the vast world for myself. Let's do it together, Nobunaga. He told me he would always be by my side. I was sure he was beside me even now. Together, with Nobunaga, we looked far beyond the horizon together. If only it was really together! Well, that was really, really short. And ungratifying. Well, it was something. Let's go on to the date scenario and see if that's any better. Beautiful tragedy. We don't need any more tragedy! Give me something happy! It was a few days later after I had met Nobunaga.
Then the degree of the injury is...
Swish, flap, bang.
Yes, thankfully it wasn't too bad. I can go back out in a few days. Then you won't be a hindrance if I leave you as Supreme Commander.
Swish, flap, bang. What is up with that?
Yes.
Spin.
I understand. Go to your room and get some rest.
Spin.
Okay.
Then I'll be off. Spin.
Yes, of course.
Click. What, were they practicing sword fighting while they were talking or something? After Yukimura and I left Nobunaga's room, we both stood still for a moment. We then looked at each other and spoke at the same time. You want to know too.
Right?
That folding fan! Ah, so all the noises were him playing with that stupid fan. We spoke at the same time. We both nodded our heads deeply.
Whenever I speak to Father, I can see a fluttering in the corner of my eye.
Yeah, I know what you mean. He opens it and closes it. I can't keep calm.
I wonder when he got so fidgety. He wasn't like that before, right?
Well, yeah. I couldn't tell him it was because someone had replaced him. I vaguely avoided the question.
But I can't take how annoying it is. I want to snatch it from him.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Huh?
I'm sure he'll get bored without it. I'd love to see what would happen. He'd probably just get another one. It's not like that's the only fan in the castle, I'm sure.
That's true. Whoa!
Eee! The two of us screamed. All of a sudden, Kotaro was standing next to us, smiling. Ah, Kotaro, my favorite.
My, I apologize for surprising you. That's beside the point. Where did you spring up from? Spring up from? Don't talk about me like I'm some kind of bug. More importantly, your conversation just now sounded very interesting. How about I borrow Nobunaga's folding fan for a while?
You can do that? If he finds out, you might be sentenced to death. Kotaro looked extremely unhappy.
Are you sure? Oh, I thought it would be funny, but...
As we whispered to each other, the door behind us suddenly opened.
What are you all doing secretly meeting in a place like this?
Well, it's not really secretly meeting, it's the hallway.
Oh, Father! Are you plotting something in secret? Let me join in too.
No, we're not doing anything like that. We're just talking, right guys?
Of course. Plotting something? How absurd. It is as they say. We were just talking about today's weather.
That face. We made excuses, and Nobunaga frowned as he looked at us.
What? How trivial. You're leaving me out.
No, we didn't mean to.
You don't need to make excuses. Oh, how trivial. How boring.
He turned around looking down, just as he was about to enter his room. Eee! Nobunaga groped my butt on his way inside. He just had to.
Sayo, what's wrong? Did Lord Nobunaga do something to you?
That dirty old man! I held my bottom and trembled. Kotaro!
Yes?
I'll take full responsibility. Take that folding fan from him.
Understood.
Kotaro was overwhelmed by my spirit and nodded. I raised my fist to the heavens. Now that it's been decided, let's make a plan at once.
Okay.
On both of my sides, the two of them brought up their fists timidly. This makes me think about when I was trying to, get one up on Kotaro, and it didn't work out too well.
I never thought the two of you would invite me out to dinner.
Out? How can we go out when we're under siege by demons? Oh, what are you talking about? We're family. We should eat together once in a while. Right, Yukimura?
Yeah.
Don't act so nervous. Come on, you're a dead giveaway. Yukimura looked uncomfortable, but he played along and nodded his head. I didn't want to be alone with Nobunaga, so I had Yukimura be my escort. We had finished eating, and were waiting for tea to be served. I'm sure he'll take out his fan soon enough. Yukimura must have thought the same thing, because our eyes met and we nodded in unison.
What's with you two? Exchanging looks like that? How indecent.
What? That wasn't exactly a lewd look.
Indecent?
Yukimura was speechless and glared at me lightly. What? Don't glare at me! He's saying you too. I don't want to hear that from you, father. At that moment, Nobunaga finally pulled out his folding fan.
Oh, are you still holding a grudge from when I groped your butt this afternoon? He groped your butt?
Father! We shouted at the same time, and Nobunaga hit his face with the fan, laughing.
Saya, I really want to get that fan from him now.
Don't be saying that right in front of him. Yukimura positioned his eyes and concealed his voice. We're on the same page now. I feel even more fired up.
What are you two talking about?
Yukimura and I both smiled. No, nothing at all.
We didn't say a word.
We spoke in uniform, and a page showed up.
I bought the tea and the liquor. Oh, liquor, huh?
Yes, but only a little since you're still injured. That was what I said, but this was part of our plan. Now please take your cup. I'll pour you some.
You're being too kind. It doesn't feel right.
Nobunaga held on to the folding fan while he grabbed a cup. I wouldn't miss my chance. I purposely inclined the liquor bottle too much.
Whoa.
The liquor fell onto the floor. Nobunaga let go of the fan. Eeh!
Gee, Saya, what are you doing?
Yukimura and I pretended to be surprised. I'm so sorry. The alcohol is all over your clothes.
Father, stand up. I'll wipe it off for you right now. Okay.
Nobunaga stood up and faced us. Now, Kotaro. When I said that to myself in my head, a needle on a string slowly and silently descended downward. Yes! I imagined myself making a fist. I was sure Yukimura did the same. Oh no, Yukimura, it spilled over there too!
Oh, you're right! This is a travesty! What are you two doing?
Nobunaga looked at us, amazed as we made a big fuss and wiped the floor. Kotaro's needle lurked down from the ceiling, and he skillfully caught the fan and lifted it up. Yukimura and I looked at each other again as we made sure something replaced the fan. Well then, sorry for the trouble. I'll pour it right this time.
Sheesh, you're so thoughtless, Princess.
Nobunaga put out his cup and calmly grabbed the item that replaced his folding fan. I haven't seen Yukimura make that face before. Yukimura's cheeks swelled up like a squirrel's.
What's wrong, Yukimura? Your face looks strange. No, it's nothing.
Yukimura cleared his throat and somehow calmed down, but I knew he was holding in his laughter. Nobunaga scowled in suspicion.
It doesn't look that way to me.
Oh, Yukimura, did you eat something spoiled? I tried to make an excuse for him and asked Nobunaga a question. Father, why are you holding on to something like that at a time like this? He took a hard look at his hand. He wasn't holding his fan. He was clinging to a wooden spoon. We just ate all of the rice a moment ago. That's like a rice scoop.
Did you forget you already ate dinner, Father?
After Nobunaga stared at his hand, he tilted his head and put the spoon down. After that, he looked around and found the folding fan Kotaro had placed there for him.
Oh.
Nobunaga was about to say something, but it seemed he couldn't think of what to say. He didn't look happy and gulped his drink down. He put his cup out to me.
Pour it.
Yes. I gladly poured him some more. Yukimura was thoroughly excited and spoke to me at the right exact moment. So we didn't actually steal his fan, we're just messing with him here.
Oh, that's right, Saya. Didn't we have snacks as well?
Oh, you're right. I heard Masamune is a great cook, so I had to make us snacks for tonight.
Oh, Masamune can cook, huh?
Yes, by all means, dig in. I smiled broadly and brought out a small plate with raw fish and vegetables. Naturally, Nobunaga put his fan on the floor.
It's good.
Really? Yukimura was desperate. He turned about and his shoulders were shaking. At any rate, Kotaro was replacing the fan with something else beside Nobunaga. It seemed like Nobunaga had completely forgotten about the weird event and put down his chopsticks.
I like it. Ask Masamune to ask something else for me sometime.
You mean to make something for you? I will. While we were having a civil and lavishing feast, I became anxious. Don't turn around. Take it just like that. Yes, yes. He took it. I secretly clenched my fist. I was sure Yukimura and Kotaro were doing the same. After gulping down 3 drinks, Nobunaga finally noticed. With an innocent face, I put my hand on my cheek. Oh, Father, were the snacks not enough?
That's just like you, Father. Eating something without using chopsticks. How manly.
Nobunaga was now holding a dried fish. It had been placed right where his fan was. Nobunaga silently placed the dried fish on top of a plate. And once again, he turned around and started looking for his folding fan. Yukimura and I looked at each other. We couldn't hold in our laughter and burst into laughter. Nobunaga took something that was like a folding fan and looked at us disappointed.
What do you do with this?
Normally you smack idiots over the head with it. What are you talking about? Isn't that the fan you always carry around?
Without a doubt. It's just like Saya said, it's a folding fan.
It was in the afternoon when Kotaro, Yukimura, and I made our plan. First, let's give him a wooden spoon. Next, a dried fish sounds good.
I'd like to replace it one more time. Yeah, I feel like having 3 things would feel more complete.
Huh? Kotaro, what are you folding? With the paper I prepared for our plan, Kotaro was folding something like thin wooden clappers.
Oh, I'm just messing around, that's all. But it's so pretty. You're rather skillful, aren't you, Kotaro?
He's right. I casually took the paper Kotaro was folding. I held the tip and undid it like a folding fan. What do you mean it's so pretty? It's just a folded piece of paper. We all exchanged glances.
That's it.
And that was that. Nobunaga stared at the origami folding fan Kotaro had made. We even put a grip on it so it would be easy to grab. Nobunaga was fixated on the fake fan. He then suddenly put it in front of us.
Are you saying this is my folding fan?
Yes.
Of course.
Twitch, twitch, twitch. Nobunaga smiled broadly.
Ouch!
Nobunaga smacked our heads over and over again with the fake folding fan. Like I said, it's a traditional Japanese thing in anime where, like, if somebody's an idiot, you smack them over the head with a paper folding fan. He turned around quickly and threw the fan at the ceiling. It was hard to believe he was injured. He knew Kotaro was there too.
That's where you are. Whoa!
Kotaro narrowly dodged it, but a shout revealed that he was there. Nobunaga turned to Yukimura and me once more.
You gave me quite the gift. I like it.
As he struck us with the fake folding fan, he smiled with steady eyes. It was a truly dreadful smile. Father?
This was...
Smack. Eee!
Ow, ow, ow!
He hit our heads again.
What a great sound. I've obtained something truly wonderful.
Well, that really backfired. After that, Nobunaga wouldn't let go of the fake folding fan, even when we gave him his real one. To the vassals that upset him,
like hell.
He struck them as he yelled at them. He liked the fan a little too much. The paper fan Kotaro made was thin and mainly used for slapping, so it was called a slapstick. It was a rumor that it had been called that, but there was no evidence beyond that. Well, that wasn't much of a date since we weren't actually alone, but it was definitely an amusing scenario. Well, that's everything we have for Nobunaga, and everything that we have for Destiny's Princess for now. If I get some more time in my life later on, I may pick it back up, but don't know about that. I'll miss it somewhat. I mean, these English games are... Sometimes they can be a little bit more fun for me to read because I can joke around with them a little bit more. I mean, even though I'm not exactly quick-witted, so I don't have a lot of jokes, but, you know, I don't have to hold my place as much as I do with the translation videos, so it's easier for me to say a little bit extra at least. But out of what we actually did with this game, I really enjoyed Kotaro's route the most, and I don't think Yukimura or Masamune would be quite as good to me, and I definitely really enjoyed Nobunaga's route a lot. And Hanbei, you know, I wasn't so crazy about. I liked him somewhat. I liked him some, but wasn't crazy about him. And why couldn't they give him one decent ending at least if he has to die in all the freaking routes? I feel bad for him. Poor Hanbei. Well, hopefully some of you will be interested in buying the game and reading the rest of the routes. But otherwise, stay tuned for some other stories that I'll be reading on my channel. Hope to see you there, and I'd be so grateful for any likes, comments, subscriptions, or shares with your friends to show some support. Thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. Dirili signing out. Bye-bye, everybody.